I would change my name legally to Scott. My first name is Scott. To Scott.
Okay, so what is your favorite part of the day?
My favorite part of the day is when I'm finishing my exercise, maybe finishing a run or a bike ride, and I'm kind of winding down and getting ready to stop.
What is something that you learned last week?
I learned a little bit about editing with Shotcut.
What is one thing that you can do that no one else can do?
I don't really have any unique talents, but I did learn how to speak Spanish when I was in my 20s, and I'm pretty proud of that.
If you could gain any skill or talent, what would that be?
I wish that I knew how to code in some specific programming languages. I wish I knew how to code in Python and Perl.
What is your favorite thing to teach?
Anything that gets students to ask questions, especially if students ask questions, at least a couple of them that I can't answer.
What is your favorite memory from high school?
Being on sports teams, because there's nothing like the camaraderie of being on a school sports team.
And what was your favorite subject?
Math and computer science, of course.
If you were not a teacher, what do you think you would be?
I think I'd have a job in some kind of technology. I'd be a coder or IT professional or something like that.
What did you want to be in high school?
I didn't really have any specific idea for a job when I was in high school. I knew that I liked math in particular when I was in high school.
Why did you decide to become a teacher?
Both my parents were teachers, and they loved their jobs, and one of the persons I admired the most was one of my high school math teachers, and I actually just saw him this last weekend. I just visited my old high school math teacher.
What is your proudest moment as a teacher?
Proudest moment is when someone contacts me after graduating several years and lets me know what they're up to, or lets me know that they appreciated my class and what I taught them.
What chore do you absolutely hate to do?
Probably my least favorite chore is grading a test that was too hard. So it's painful to decide how to scale it and curve it.
What are your biggest pet peeves?
I hate it when students cut corners. Maybe they don't do their homework thoroughly, or they will get help, maybe we'll say in some cases, and then they're surprised at their grade or the result at the end of a test or semester or whatever it is.
What do you like most about your current job?
Being around teenagers. I really like the energy of teenagers.
If there was one thing you could improve at Monte Vista, what would it be?
All the trash on campus. Pick up after yourselves.
What is the most interesting rumor that you've heard about yourself?
At one point, a student left an online review of me and said that if Mahatma Gandhi and Adolf Hitler had a love child, it would be Mr. DeRuiter.
If you could witness one event from history, what would it be?
Any significant life event from Jesus' life.
What is the most embarrassing moment you've ever had?
Like I would tell you that.
If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
The ability to take two people and have them see something from the other person's point of view, and have that understanding stick.
What would be the title of a movie about yourself?
Scott DeRuiter, legend in his own mind.
What would you do as the President of the United States?
That is not a job I would be interested in having.
If there was one thing you could ask about the future, what would it be?
How long does American democracy in its present form last?
What is one thing that you'd tell your past self?
I've actually thought about this a little bit even before this interview, and I saw the questions. And I would not want to tell my 16-year-old self anything, because I made a lot of mistakes as a teenager and young adult, etc. But I think if I knew some things, then I might not wind up where I am right now, and I really like where I am right now. So I wouldn't choose to tell my 16-year-old self anything.
Who is your biggest inspiration?
My parents, definitely. My parents were great role models, not only as just parents, but also as teachers, because they were fabulous teachers.
What is something that you can't do but you wish that you could?
I wish I could touch my toes when I stand up straight. I can't even come close.
What is the strangest name that a student has called you?
Mr. Schwarzenegger.
What would you do with $10 million?
I'd probably spend it on something ridiculous like diamond-studded earrings or something like that.
What is the first thing that you like to do after work?
Stop by Starbucks and get a latte.
What is something that you wish you knew as a 16-year-old?
Same answer to the previous one. I wouldn't want my 16-year-old self to know any more than he did back in 1981.
What is one thing that you'd like to do before you die?
I'd like to visit. I've never been to South America, and I'd like to visit there are a lot of different places, cities, geographical places that I'd like to visit in South America.
What's your favorite word?
Rutabaga.
What was the last book that you read?
I read the last book I read was called Emperor of Thorns by Mark Lawrence, and it's part of the Prince of Thorns series. It's a kind of fantasy series.
What is your guilty pleasure?
Venti decaf latte, soy, and no foam.
What is your favorite animal and why?
Oh, it's got to be a chocolate Labrador puppy because they're so cute.
What are you most looking forward to within the next 10 years?
Well, probably in 4 or 5 years I will retire, and my wife will too. So I'm looking forward to spending time vacationing and hanging out with my wife.
What book would you recommend to other people?
Everyone should read at some point Watership Down by Richard Adams.
What is your favorite songwriter?
What My World Spins Around by Jordan, I can't remember his last name, Jordan Davis maybe, but it's a country song.
What product would you stockpile if you found out that it wasn't going to be sold anymore?
Stockpile. I don't know.
What was the last thing that you purchased?
Corn flakes at Safeway.
If you could meet any person dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Jesus of Nazareth, for obvious reasons.
If you could change your name, what would you change it to?
I would change my name legally to Scott. My first name is Scott. Scott.
What is your favorite food?
My favorite food, my wife makes a Spanish dish called paella. That's my favorite dish.
Do you believe that aliens exist?
I believe that life exists somewhere else in the universe. I don't know if I believe in aliens, like in an intelligent. I don't doubt it, but I don't know that if I believe it exists currently.
What is your favorite holiday?
Christmas, because we get 2 weeks off and get to see family. And
what's your favorite sports team?
the Reedley Pirates.
Okay. If you had to get a tattoo, what would it be and why?
Oh, favorite tattoo? I would get a tattoo that kind of looked like this. It would be a picture, of course, much more artistically drawn, but it would be a pie. But it might not say pie, but there would be a slice taken out of pie.
What is the most valuable lesson that you've learned in your life?
Most valuable lesson. That we all, that being connected is the most important thing. Everybody needs someone else. And it's important, especially for me as a teacher, to try and help my students to feel connected at school.
How would you want to be remembered?
Most important thing for me, I hope that my sons remember me as a good father.
And lastly, what is something that your students taught you?
My students teach me every day not to take myself too seriously.